Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another trying makeup out on camera using mostly today we're gonna be looking at BH Cosmetics. I cannot tell you how many of you tagged me in these palettes. They were all like, it looks like your aesthetic, they're monochromatic, they're fun colors. And I mean, I was sold after the first person tagged me. It was actually kind of funny because I saw it like on Trend Mood or something, and then the whatever started coming in. I was like, yeah, already kind of planning on doing videos on these. For the sake of this video, we're just going to be going into these two today. I will be reviewing all the ones that I got, which I got all of them except for the neutrally one. But if these end up being all kinds of awesomeness, I may have to get that one. We will just have to see. I was super tempted to do the green one, the pistachio one on camera, but we already have done a green look on camera, so we're going to be focusing on the orange sorbet and the cherry on top. And they actually, this one isn't going to show it, or is this one? Yeah. You take all of them together and they make a giant ice cream cone. I enjoy a streamlined aesthetic. So these are going to be the new things that I'm trying out. I'm also going to be using, not new, but new to me. We have an anti-hauled it, but bought it. These are the BH Cosmetics 4-color blush palettes. Y'all know your girl about lost her shiz when these were released. We anti-hauled them. I was like, you know, I've got some Ulta points. I'm doing these. Why don't we do a whole thing out of it? Which was basically just an excuse for me to buy this shiz. Let's be real. We're going to be using the Chocolate Cherry Truffle one today. It's just these nice kind of cherry, orangey, pinky, whatever blushes. So let's just get into using these bad boys. Oh, they do have mirrors in them. For some reason, I thought they didn't have mirrors in them because I'm a moron. So I put out one of my trusty ColourPop monochromatic palettes, which is usually what I use when I'm doing my makeup. We're gonna start off with Orange Sorbet. They got 4 mattes and 4 shimmers in all sorts of monochromatic gorgeousness. I believe they are $18, which isn't like super crazy. BH Cosmetics is a more affordable price point, but a couple of you talked to me and you're like, that seems a little bit steep. Obviously, we're gonna have to try and see. We're gonna start off with, I think we're just gonna go all in this Tangerine shade. I love the gradient. I'm using my IT brushes for Ulta. Number 107, which is just looking like this. Let's get in here. All right. Not a lot of kick up, but looks nice and pigmented. Let's bring you a little in closer so you can look at my rebellious complexion. My skin has not been nice to me recently, and I don't know what the problem is. Alright, you get nice pigmented going on there. I just saw these and I thought they were so cute, and I know there's probably going to be a couple of you that's all like, yeah, but you roast Glamlight and other companies. I can't tell you how many times in anti-hauls I've been like, this is stupid. The food aesthetic is dumb. Well, I admit, food aesthetic is not necessarily my thing all the time. I thought that this was done really well because it's done without clunky, junky packaging. And the colors are actually very coordinating with what they're trying to sell aesthetic-wise. Rather than just saying, oh, we're an ice cream palette, we're a cake palette, we're a donut palette, so we can put just a whole bunch of mishmash bright shades in there without any rhyme nor reason, because it's a colorful food aesthetic. This is not my first time trying BH Cosmetics eyeshadows. I had the excuse me, burp squad. I had the Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette. I really liked it. The quality was really good. The shimmers were popping. The mattes were nice, smooth, and blendable. I ended up decluttering it just because, I mean, it was big, it was massive, it was clunky. It was a situation that had like highlighters and eyeshadows in it. You know, I'm not typically the biggest fan of that. And it just had a bunch of shades in it that I'm like, I've got other palettes, you know, for the type of makeup and the gradient that I like now, it just wasn't necessarily feasible. Feasible isn't the right word. Viable in my collection considering all the other stuff that I had. So far, this is This is really nice and pigmented. Also seems to be blending well. I apologize for the awkward whatever with this. This isn't, as much as I enjoy doing this, this isn't my strong suit where most of my talent lies. Because let's be real, most of my talent lies in sassy commentary, which isn't a bad thing. I just know that my my talents, my whatevers lay elsewhere than doing tutorials. Y'all know I say every time I do one of these, I have been enjoying doing this kind of makeup on camera situation going on. It's honestly almost kind of therapeutic, where I'm like, I don't know what I want to film. I'm in a creative rut. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll just break out my whatevers and do my face on camera, which has been working well for me. So that makes me very happy. I'm surprised. It's actually kind of funny. I saw this one. I'm like, it's all kind of pretty. I don't really do orange looks a lot because you all know I do the green, obviously. I do the pink and the purple. And the shades that they have this one of the palettes, this one, which is the orange one. Then they have a, the red one, obviously. Then they have a more like pinky purpley one, a blue one, which y'all would have seen. I ordered this and they sent it to me in like the world's biggest box. Like it was like the size of a box that you could have put a vacuum cleaner in. Wasn't really happy about that. I'm surprised none of them arrived completely busted, and then they forgot to send me the blue one, which I always feel weird like calling about that kind of thing, because clearly they didn't send it, but like, how are they knowing that I'm not just calling them and being like, I'm gonna tell them that they didn't send it, and because I just want another one. Not entirely sure what the like rules and regulations for that are, but they did send me another one. It arrived kind of okay. One of the shimmers had like a little bit of crack in it on the side, but we're making it work. Which, for being someone who's not typically hot and bothered by shimmers, I must admit the shimmers in these looked absolutely beautiful. I was like, not sure about getting the blue one because blue mattes are like really hard to formulate. So I was like, do I really trust BH Cosmetics to formulate a good blue? But some of those they look stunning. You would have seen me show them off on Snapchat, and pictures did not do that shiz justice. All right, then we're gonna be going into the extra topping shade, which is like this vibrant, like peachy, orangey red. And I'm gonna be using my IT brushes for Ulta number 112, which is basically the same brush, just smaller. Let's go into here, all right? Same amount of no fallout, but still got that pigment going on. And we're just gonna, we got this going. Alright, it's there, I think. Is it? I really hope that these end up working out, and I really hope if they are good, I have heard good things, that they're not limited edition, because y'all know I like having affordable options for y'all, especially in the bright color department besides ColourPop, because there are quite a few of y'all, some of my like across the pond over the sea viewers, that can't get ColourPop. Because I remember talking about, I anti-hauled those Makeup Revolution or Revolution Pro. They basically duped the ColourPop monochromatic palettes, and I was like, why did they do that? And a couple of you all were like, well, we can't get ColourPop. And then I felt kind of bad, like a moron. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. So far the red is really nice. It's not, I think, as pigmented as I would like, I don't know, from like even ColourPop or something like that, but it seems to be at least blending out fairly nicely. Saturation. Sometimes it's hard for colors like in this like little area where the lid and the whatever, that crease area, sometimes it's harder for colors to adhere there. Definitely. Oh, that looks awful. What's up? I have to go in there and do some of that blendy. I don't know. I'm not a fancy makeup person. I just do what I do. I feel like it's like, okay, it's nice. I feel like I can't tell, like trying it on camera is good, but like in a controlled environment, how I typically do my makeup is a better way of, telling if it's good or not, because doing it on here is obviously not the ideal environment, but ideal environment or not, if an eyeshadow doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, that's just straight up. We saw that with, I don't know if it's up yet or not, but the NYX, that was a hot mess. That was so disappointing. I mean, y'all know I said, like, in the video, I was just like, for $35, you'd think you could formulate something like even a decent shimmer for $35. You could give us something a little bit better. These don't have they like have basically, like, I'm sitting here tapping my brush in there, no fallout, none on my face, none in the shadow, which is like the way that I typically do my makeup. I think I've said this before, is when there is fallout in the whatever, like I'll do my brush like that, and then I'll just pick up the excess, because I am a control freak and I like knowing how much pigment I'm using. Like, I'm very strategic about how I place it. When I see people, they're like, I'm gonna do this in the crease, and they're like, I'm like, ugh. There's absolutely no way I could do my makeup like that. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. And typically, usually this eye over here that I'm working on right now looks better than this eye, although the eyeliner typically looks better on this eye than this one. So that's always fun when you're trying to go for symmetry. Like, I'm just blending better on this eye. I don't know if you can see, like, there it's like, and over here it's like nice and smoothie and blended. Okay, now with that all done, I'm gonna go into the cherry on top, and we're gonna go into the Sprinkles shade right here, which is a deep, dark, decadent red cherry perfection shade. Using my Essence angled crease brush. Y'all have seen this before, can you not? Y'all have seen this, I think, pretty much every time I've done my makeup. All right, there's a little more. We got the kick up in the pan going on here. That's okay, we can work with that. So let's just do. Kind of showing up, maybe, hopefully, please. It's always frustrating when you have an eyeshadow that produces a lot of kick up, and then you go to even just like press it on the eyelid, and it's like, nope, I ain't gonna do it, ain't gonna stick. Which always makes me sad, because you're just like, come on, it's not that difficult. I think with this shade though, and these palettes, it's just a matter of building it up. They do seem to go on a bit lighter than they are in the pan, which is something that I'm like kind of okay with. But if you're showing me a deep dark, wow, there's a lot of kick up in that pan. But if you're showing me a deep dark, decadent, delicious cherry shade, that's what I want on my eyelids. Not like a faint potential wash of red. I want pigment. But I do think with this, it is kind of just a part of the building it up. It's just not going to be like that one swipe intensity like the Norvina palettes and other like bright shades. Oh, I hate this eye so much, because every once in a while decides it wants to throw a hissy fit, and you see that little section right there where the eyeshadow just won't. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it decides to do that, but it decides that it doesn't want to go on just that little section right there on the outer corner. I guess I have cursed eyelids or something like that. But it's really frustrating when you get like halfway through a look and you're like, I'm so ready, and then you go to apply that like nice deep dark decadent shade, and your lid is like, no, we're gonna just ruin the whole look. Just take it and throw it out. I think these might end up being more beginner friendly palettes if you're like familiar, or you're like okay with doing a fair amount of blending, just in order to get the opacity that you might be looking for, because there isn't like that crazy, they're not like Melt Cosmetics or the Anastasia and Norvina palettes where you like dip your brush in once and you've got so much holy heckin' pigment. But overall, I think they're really, really pretty. And obviously I'll be trying the other ones. I'll be continuing to try these ones before I film my review. But this formula is definitely more conducive to kind of like a packing and then a little bit of a blending motion, at least for me, in order to get the layer of pigment that I want. Okay, it's not perfect, but I think we're okay there. It just doesn't want to adhere to that little section right there, so this won't be my finest eyeshadow blending moment. Got a little bit of a Firebird situation going on. Then we're just gonna do the lower lash line with my Real Techniques shading brush, going back into Orange Sorbet. I think I'm gonna go in with Zest. I think I just had a stroke. Gonna go in with the Zest shade right here. We're just gonna go like this right here. Can you not saturation? I swear to high heavens. It has been like in and out overcast all day, basically all week. I am not living for that. As much of a vampire as I am someone who likes the sun. I actually have sun efficiency disorder. My brother has it too, which is when the sun doesn't come out, basically you don't wake up and you're a lot more prone to depression. So it's all kinds of fun times had all around, but having that like, am I overcast, am I not, does affect my lighting a fair amount because I got those big windows over here and then I've got my lights up there. It's just all kinds of fun trying to figure everything out. Definitely let me know. I know a couple of you have actually contacted me saying that you have these palettes. Let me know your opinions down below and your thoughts on them. And if there's like, I hope that there isn't going to be like a inconsistency between the palettes. I hope that it just, you know, kind of runs through, because I hate it when you have a collection of palettes and you're like, well, this one is really good, but this one over here sucks. Then back into sprinkles here just to finish it up. Yeah, the only problem I have so far with the sprinkle shade is it's like really, really deep and dark, and I don't really see that as much on my lid. There is also a little bit, a titchy bit of fallout all up in there. But like I do say, doing my makeup like this is not the finest, the best, the most wonderful example. Sometimes it's all bomb diggity, but sometimes not so much. They are fairly dry, I will say that. I mean, I know it's like whenever I hear people are like, oh, it's dry, and I'm like, well, it's a powder, but there is a difference. They tend to be a bit dustier, you know. That's kind of, I feel like when it's a drier, more like fly away formula is when it doesn't want to adhere so well. Then for my lid, I am definitely going to be going into this citron shade right here. Just looks so pretty. With my Moda SM shader. Let's see. All right. Getting a lot up on there. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, that pretty. What's up? Like a shimmer that is nice and straightforward. Doesn't have to be finagled with. I always hate it when you get a shimmer that, like, in order to get it to work, you have to use a glitter glue or you have to use a tacky primer. One of my favorite shimmer formulas is in the ABH Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam palettes, because those shimmers just shimmy and shine without any coercion. That seems nice. That's pretty. Seems to be working well. Usually I'll start off with this brush, and if it can work with this brush, then yay. I do have my Moda, it's like a silicone tip thing that's really good for applying really finicky shimmers, like the Melt Cosmetics ones, any kind of like duochromy glossy topper. It's really good for that. But I always like to see if it works just with this to begin with, because that tells me it is a non-finicky, straightforward shimmer formula. I think that's really pretty. What do you think? You guys think that's pretty, or am I just out of my mind? Losing my mind. Of course, you have to have it to lose it. With the e.l.f. contour brush, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of yum, and we're gonna highlight that inner corner going on here. Ooh, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Saturation. That's pretty. That's pretty. I hate how my camera, I cannot wait to get an updated phone so I can have a better camera for y'all. For now, you've just got to deal with my Samsung Galaxy S7. That's really nice and highlighty, all kinds of bling bling. All right, there we have this. I'm going to go do my eyeliner, do my base makeup, off camera, come back, and we'll do highlighter and blush and lips and all that magicalness. All right, base completed. I will admit I've been having, a couple of y'all would have seen on Snapchat, I've been having a little bit of a struggle with getting my like blush and highlighter to blend. I think part of that is how my like complexion products have been going on, and y'all know that complexion is beyond important to you, girl. I'd actually been binge watching some of the Robert Welsh videos. I've just been binge watching his channel, and he was like, well, make sure that you let your primer give it time to become one with your skin. So I have been letting my primer sit on my face longer, because usually I just like prime and then shellac the foundation right on top over it, and that seems to be helping. So going into the Chocolate Cherry Truffle, I think I'm gonna do this like cute corally peachy whatever blush using my Real Techniques multitask brush. And I'll be all blush brush. Let's just get a little bit, just a titchy bit going on here. Alright, that looks nice, I think. I understand I have a weird way of applying blush. This just seems to help keep my foundation from moving around, doing kind of like this like tap 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 dab 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 rather than shwee. And I do typically use a denser brush, because this is a denser brush, where people, you know, do use a more fluffy whatever brush. I'm just weird, I don't know. I'm not like other makeup channels. That's really pretty. Like I said, my skin isn't exactly obeying recently, so it doesn't look the best. But, you know, we kind of do what we do to make it work. It's still really pretty. I love the colors of these. They had one that I really wanted, and it was like, I think the deepest one, and I was reading like the reviews, and it was like, if you've got a deep complexion, this is a must. And I'm like, don't buy that shiz just because you want it, because clearly you don't have a deep complexion. But for those of y'all who do, it got really good reviews. I think that's good. I think that's nice. What do y'all think? These do have matte shades as well as shimmer shades. I'm not entirely sure. I think it depends on the one you get. The only weirdness that I have is like this one right here. I don't know if you can see, but it looks like darker on the outside, and then as it gets to the inside, it looks like it's been like what happens to makeup when it's exposed to the sun for a long time, where it just kind of bleaches it. So not entirely sure what that is about, because it definitely at least wasn't exposed to the sun on my watch. Obviously, we've got to do highlighter. Y'all know the BHCosmetics highlighter palettes, or the Bomb Diggity Shiznit. And I'm going to be doing a mixture from the Duolight as well as the Blacklight one. I'm going to be taking the shade Electra here and mixing it with Double Trouble. So let's just see if we can get this done without creating too much of a mess. And this is just the Equate highlighter brush. It was Walmart, it was like $2. And we're just gonna get a little bit of that there, a little bit of that here. Oh, all's good in highlighterville. If you don't have these palettes and you love highlighter, you need to get these palettes. Look at that. It's just so beaming. I aspire to be the new reindeer on Santa's sleigh. I mean, come on, Soraya, with your nose so bright. Alright, then we're gonna do up on the cheekbones, ever so. Just a look can always be saved with magnificent highlighter. These highlighters are just so stinking good. Highlight those high points, make it look like I actually have cheekbones. That was not an area where I was blessed. I mean, do you see the glossiness? Do you see the glaze? And these palettes, these ones I think are like 16 or 18, then this one is like a couple dollars more, but these are absolutely amazing. I actually have a review of this one, and because this is the Blacklight and the other one is the, I don't know, Daylight. These are just absolutely amazing highlighter palettes. They're affordable, they glossy, they glowy. Basically everything a highlighter lover could possibly want. Lips aren't that exciting. I'm just using Jeffree Star Cosmetics Jeffree Who. Y'all can have an angry hissy fit down below. I have the products. I'm gonna use them. And, I think this is the hairstyle. I love when I go into these and like I'm totally gonna be talking to these people while I'm applying my lipstick because that makes perfect sense. And it never does. And it never turns out. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I totally went into the bathroom and finished this off. This is a really pretty color though. I'm gonna have to pull this out more. Okay, so all in all, I am not unhappy with the palettes at all. I think the blush is really nice. I mean, I think it's easy to formulate. Well, I don't know if it's easy to formulate blush. It's just, I know that those have gotten really good reviews. I'm definitely gonna be playing around more with these. I think that they're gonna be a palette that's gonna be more conducive to me being able to do in my regular makeup routine as opposed to on camera, but they did perform really well, aside from the fact that I think you're gonna have to take just a bit more with blending and with building the color up, which could be conducive to being good for a beginner or even a, you know, skilled whatever, but not having to have a huge amount of pigment can be something that's good for someone who's starting out, especially for brighter, more crazy, less neutral colors. So I'm really excited to work with the other ones and do my review. Definitely stay around for that. Super excited. Gonna be going through all of them except for the neutral one. But all in all, not happy, not unhappy, and really looking forward to trying the other ones and see how they fare. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have any of these products, definitely let me know down below how you use them, everything like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!